The press con for Project R.E.D. Super Space Sheriff GAVAN Infinity is happening this weekend, and there was a trailer that came out on Christmas Day here in Japan. I wasn't here in Japan when that dropped. I was on a plane, so I haven't talked about the trailer. I haven't given my full thoughts about GAVAN Infinity, but that's what we're here to do now, because I have some thoughts, and I want to get those out there before the press con. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to live stream my reaction to the press conference, but I will do another video talking about the press conference, all the information, and then my updated thoughts then. But for now, let's talk about what we do know, or at least generally what we do know about GAVAN Infinity, Super Sentai's replacement. So yes, we did get a teaser trailer thing. I would say it's more like a teaser more than a trailer, because we don't really see the cast. We don't really know fully the story of this show. But what we do know is that there are three heroes: GAVAN Infinity, this red dude right here, bam. And then we also got GAVAN Bushido and GAVAN Luminous. They are not necessarily a team. They are three super space sheriffs that I guess kind of reside, live, protect. I'm not really sure. Three different multiverses, or yeah, three different universes, I guess. There's this whole theme about the multiverse. All these space sheriff GAVANs are gonna be protecting the multiverse. It sounds like they're gonna Avengerify this franchise. So in this teaser trailer, we got glimpses of their ship / Robo. We got some of the weapons. We got their gimmick item. We got their henshin device. Things like that. And we see them in action. They're not really fighting anyone. Again, we don't know the villains. We don't know the enemy. We don't know who they're fighting at this point. But we can see them in action in this teaser trailer. They've also released multiple posters showcasing the heroes and the ships and all that, as well as some other behind-the-scenes kind of videos showing like some of the crew working on the suits and the robot and behind-the-scenes stuff. So what are my thoughts about all this? Let's kind of just break down each thing individually. First up, I'm going to start with our three main heroes. Basically, their looks, right? Their suits, because we still don't know anything about the characters themselves. So I have personally warmed up to these suits. Now, at first, I was like they're okay, I guess, but I didn't like some of the things about the suits. Still throw me off a little bit. Red's visor, I don't know, that still kind of throws me off a little bit, just because it's so like thin, like the red part here, right? Like that seems so thin to me. I don't know, I think I'm just used to seeing Super Sentai visors, honestly, and even like Kamen Rider visors where the eyes are really big, you know, like I'm just used to that, I guess. And it also looks like his ears are cold, like he's got earmuffs going on. Hey, my ears are cold too. I guess all of their ears are cold, huh? Look at that. Look at that. They're all cold. See? Because it's wintertime. And initially, I thought Bushido was the best looking suit. When we first got that first trailer showing all three of them. Or at least glimpses of the three of them. But yeah, no, I thought Silver's, Bushido's, was the coolest one. But, you know, after seeing official images and after sitting on these suits for quite some time now, I think the red one is my favorite. Infinity, I think, is my favorite now. Yeah, I don't know. I think the whole look kind of just works. I do like Silver's suit, though, like the body of his suit. The helmet does throw me off. I think it's because of the lack. I don't know, maybe it's the lack of the mouth or something, or maybe it's just the visor is a little too plain. I'm not really sure. Or maybe it's the, you know what, it might be like the forehead here. Like there's just nothing going on there. Not like reds and golds. I'm calling them by their color name because I have Sentai on the brain still. But Yeah, as you can see, Luminous and Infinity have like that thing in the middle of their forehead, while Bushido doesn't. So I think that's kind of throwing me off. Luminous is pretty cool too. It seems like Luminous is a woman. It seems like she's got like teeth. It looks like teeth or something on her face, or something like right here on her mouth plate. They also have a mouth plate. Like gold and red have a mouth plate, while silver doesn't, which is interesting. I guess they really had to make silver really different from like original Gavan, you know, because Gavan's already silver. But you know, he looks different enough. Like he definitely looks different enough. So they did a good job with that. Makes sense with the colors though. Like red, gold, and silver makes perfect sense. Those are some of the more popular colors in Sentai. So, you know, translate that over to Project R.E.D, GAVAN Infinity. Makes sense. But they also kind of represent like a red, blue, yellow kind of trio like Sentai did. Or Sentai has done for like plenty of times. GAVAN Infinity is red. Luminous is kind of like a yellow. And then with Bushido has like blue, kind of that blue gradient going on. It goes from like silver to blue into his hands, and I believe his boots as well, which looks really cool. I really like that gradient going on. I mean, they all have that gradient going on, with Luminous having the gold and then going into like an orange color, which is pretty cool. And then GAVAN with the red going into a silver. But yeah, no, I like that. I like that about the suits. But overall, I am warming up to the suits. I think they're pretty cool overall. I think I like them overall. I wouldn't mind getting action figures of these if action figures do happen. All right, so now let's get into the Henshin device slash ship slash robot. This is definitely like Tegasword 2.0. Like it's just this is Tegasword, but instead of a sword, it's a gun. And I've seen a lot of discourse about the Robo, especially because of how plain it looks. Now, we've definitely had some plain-looking Robos in Sentai. Absolutely, 100%. There's no denying that. Just go back to like the 90s, 80s eras of robots, and there are a lot of plain-looking robots. But honestly, some of those plain-looking robots are some of my favorites. Like the Delta Megazord from In Space / Mega Ranger. I don't remember the name in Mega Ranger, but that one I really like. Super simplistic, super plain, but I like it. I don't know. It could be nostalgia, but I'm not. I don't know. I just like it. I like the simplicity of it. But when it comes to this robot, this ship, it's called, what is this thing called? GCR something. I don't know. It's okay. In the trailer, or at least the picture that they released, on their Twitter account, Project R.E.D's Twitter account, it looks pretty good, but it's also like in purple lighting, so I almost kind of wish it was purple, but it's just, you know, plain gray, silver, black Robo. It's okay. I like the face. The face is pretty cool. I don't know how I feel about the large gun handle on the on his shoulder. That seems kind of silly, but you know, it's Toku. It's supposed to be silly, right? You can clearly see the port here. Like, things are obviously gonna combine with this robot. They didn't even try to hide that part though with the suit. On the toy, sure, whatever, that's fine. But like on the suit, like they didn't even try to hide it. Overall, I think the robot is okay. I need to see it more in action before I make like a huge judgment on it. I'm not like the biggest hater of this robot like some people are on the internet, but I'm also not the biggest lover of this robot like some people are. Cosmo Gavarion, is that what it's called? I just saw it on Twitter. Cosmo Gavarion, however you say that. The ship mode's pretty cool too. I mean, it's fine. I don't really care for ships in general, I think. Maybe I just don't really like spaceships and stuff. I don't think I've really 100% cared for those. But it looks fine. It looks fine. Now, we gotta talk about the gimmick. This gimmick item, man. So, these gimmick items, what are they called again? Emolgear. How are you supposed to say that? Emolgear? Emolgear? I'm gonna say Emolgear. Essentially, emotion and gear combined into one word. So these little things are essentially, to me, people have been saying they look like Judenshi from Gozyuger plus Gochizo from Kamen Rider Gabu. I don't really see them as batteries. Are they batteries? I don't think they're batteries, really. I see them more, they look more like full bottles from Kamen Rider Build. I mean, I could see why people would think that, no, they are batteries. Wait, hold on. Yeah, they're batteries because they have a plus-minus sign at the top and the bottom, respectively. I didn't realize that until now. I'm looking in the magazine. I can't show you the magazine because then Toei or whoever will get mad at me. But okay, so they are batteries. Okay, but they look more like full bottles, right? They're batteries like Judenshi, but they look like full bottles. And they also have funny faces like the Gochizo do. Like, when it comes to the funny faces on these Emolgears, to me it seems like they're really trying to bank off that popularity that Gochizos were, or that Gochizos are. Like, Gochizos are just crazy popular, even still today. GAVAN Infinity has an angry Emolgear, so I guess he uses the power of anger to transform. And then Bushido has the power of sadness, and then Luminous has the power of joy. So really interesting that they're using essentially the power of emotions to transform and probably, like, blast the bad guys or, whatever. It's a very interesting concept, but here I got a couple of thoughts about these. One, I don't think they're gonna be as popular as Gochizo. Not even close. Like, the Gochizo were popular because they are snacks. Not necessarily because of the face. I mean, yes, the faces definitely help. I should take that back, actually. Yes, it is because of the faces, but it's the faces with the combination that they are snacks. That is what makes them popular, not the faces alone. It's because they're also little adorable snack monster things, and that's what makes them appealing, not just to Kamen Rider fans, but to people outside the fandom. So many of my friends absolutely love those things. Like, they see those little guys and they love them. And they're not Kamen Rider fans. Not even Toku fans. But it's because, like, again, they're snacks. Like, everyone knows snacks. Everyone loves snacks, okay? Snacks are a universal thing. And you put faces on them, adorable little faces on them. There you go. Bam. That's money being printed immediately. But with these, I didn't even know they were batteries. Like, I know people were saying that they were batteries online. But when you look at it, it's like, what the heck is that? And they're not. Like, listen, they're just not as aesthetically appealing like the Gochizo. They're a silver container thing with a face on them. If there were different colors, like if the container part were different colors, then they'd be a little more appealing. They still wouldn't be at the popularity as Gochizos are, but I guess it would make them a little more appealing, because as a Sentai fan, I like seeing all the different colors. I mean, if you're gonna, it's GAVAN, like, there are 3 different colors, so just make the batteries 3 different colors. Like, I know the faces are different colors, but make the shell different colors. I don't know, that's just my thoughts, I don't know. And secondly, speaking of aesthetic, these Emolgears just don't fit the overall aesthetic of the show. Like, of these suits, of the Robo, of the weapons, like nothing. Like what? Like Gabu, it works. You see Gochizo, you see Kamen Gabu. Kamen Gabu's suit is very unique. It's very adorable, right? Or even like Valen and Vrom, like they're obviously like, you know, candy snack riders, and they use the powers of candy snack monsters to transform. Like it all makes sense. He doesn't look angry. Like, but he uses the power of anger to transform. Like, what about him screams angry? Like, I don't get... And he's a sad boy? Like, I don't know. Happiness? Joy? Like, none of this screams emotion. They look cool, but like, like, what? He uses the power of an angry face little thing to transform... I don't know. It just doesn't fit the overall aesthetic. And you look at the robot, it's so plain looking compared to like the little faces in the Emolgears. It's just, I don't know. It's just so, like, what are they doing? Now let's get into like some of the gear and the weapons. So they do have licenses, and they have like this laser blaster thing, and they have this very familiar sword. So I don't really have anything much to say about the weapons except the sword. The sword is obviously a recolor / slight remold of the Zanglass Sword from Dawn Brothers. Like, that is it's so painfully obvious that that's what that is. I get it. Listen, the Zanglass Sword sold very well. It was a really cool toy. They sold that thing in multiple different ways. We had the Zanglass Sword. They had Don Murasame's variant. The Ninjark Sword, that's what it's called. And then they had the movie one, the team-up movie one, which is also really cool. And now we're getting one from Kamen Rider, or not, called it a Kamen Rider. GAVAN Infinity. And they're trying to cut costs, right? So I get it. But at the same time, I'm just like, man, I don't know. As a, you know, just as a Super Sentai fan, just seeing that is just like, man, it just reminds me that Sentai's done, and that they're just like, just taking everything Sentai and just like rehashing it. I'll talk more about that later on. There's also like 4 other jets that they're gonna have, all different colors, all gonna probably combined with the Robo. I really don't have much to say about those. Like, we'll see the transformations when we see them. We'll see the combinations when we see them. Now, the press con happening this weekend, like I mentioned, we should be getting all of the face actors, right, of all 3 of the heroes, probably some other cast. We should also be getting more about the story and who the villains are, maybe some other surprises, who knows. Maybe we'll be seeing the toys. That, honestly, out of everything, I mean, I am curious about everything, of course, but I think I'm most curious about the toys, just as a toy collector. I don't know, I'm really curious about these toys. How are they gonna look? What are they gonna do? How Sentai is this toy line gonna be? Because GAVAN Infinity, overall, like, it obviously isn't a Sentai. It's not a Sentai rebrand, a Sentai reboot at all. Like, I don't know if anyone's still saying that now, but, like, and I know I've said it before, that this show is like a Sentai rebrand or whatever, or it's interesting because it went from, yeah, this is a Sentai rebrand, to, you know what, I think it's fine either way if you think it's a rebrand or not. Now it's like a hard, this ain't no rebrand. It's just not. It's straight up not. But it is toyetically a Sentai. Like, that's the thing that's so interesting about this, because this toy line is very Sentai. Like, you got your changer / Robo, you got your weapons, you got your gimmick item. Like, it's a Sentai toy line just slapped on to a Space Sheriff Gavan show. It's just like it's so weird. Like this show is just so it's already so weird because it's essentially the combination of two IPs. Two dead IPs that Toei thought neither of them were able to stand alone. So they had to take these two IPs and combine them. And they're crossing everything they got. They're hoping that this sticks. I mean, oh man, I don't know, man. Here, and this is my big question, right? This is my big question. Will this show succeed? Will this show succeed? I don't know. I'm just so... A lot of the things that they're choosing to do with this show and this new IP is just so strange. It's interesting, but it's also getting, you know, I'm scratching my head at some of these things and I'm like, what, huh? Like, what? It's so, I don't know, man. It's so weird. It's such a weird time to be a Sentai fan, or even just a Toku fan in general, with this new-ish show. It is new, but, like, it's also familiar, but it's still being treated as a new thing. It's weird. But I really don't know if this is going to be successful. It's hard to predict how people are going to react to this. I mean, especially since we don't really know anything about, like, you know, the story of the show, the plot or whatever, you know. We haven't seen the toys or anything, so we've just been given, you know, really basic information, I would say. But I don't know how, I don't know. I really just don't know. I don't know how kids are going to react to this. I don't know how adults are going to react to this. I don't know how I'm going to react to it. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's kind of... It gets me a little worried about this, because it's like, if this show doesn't do well, and it's canceled, something needs to replace that time slot. Something needs to replace that TV Asahi time slot, right? Like, because Toei has that time slot, that whole hour of Super Sentai right now, Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. And now Super Sentai is being replaced with Project R.E.D. And if Project R.E.D doesn't do well, then what? What are they gonna do? What will they make another show? Like, Sentai ain't coming back. And that's another thing that I've been seeing a lot online, is like, a lot of people want Project R.E.D to fail so that Sentai will come back, which is absolutely not how that works. That's just not what's going to happen. They ended Sentai for a reason, so they're not gonna bring it back like a year or two later. Like, that's just not gonna happen. Even what was his name, Shirakura said that you know, if Sentai were to come back, it should be at least another 10 years. But again, that's an if. So that's another thing that I need to touch on too. A lot of people are like really on, like, they're really like, yes, Sentai's gonna come back in 10 years. I can't wait. Y'all, hey, listen, 10 years is a long time. We don't know what's gonna happen in these next 10 years, alright? He said if Sentai comes back, okay? So we gotta take that if into consideration. That's an if. It's not for sure. So keep your hopes at bay. But like I did mention in a live stream, we did do a live stream this past week, and go check it out if you haven't already, or if you weren't there. And if you were there, thank you. Thank you for joining. It was a fun time. But I did mention in that live stream that I am personally more interested and curious. I'm more curious about this show and this toy line than I'm excited about it. I don't know if I'm necessarily excited about any of this. I like some of the things that I'm seeing, and then some of the other things I'm like, okay, sure. But overall, I'm more curious about this than like looking forward to it. We will do toy hunts. We will do GAVAN Infinity toy hunts. But just because we're doing the toy hunts doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna buy the things. I am gonna buy some things, probably. I'll probably get the changer / Robo. Because I do want to try out those Emolgears. And then maybe, you know, if they do action figures, maybe, you know. A lot of it is just a big maybe. All of this is a big maybe. Like, this show is a big maybe. The toys are a big maybe. My thoughts about everything are big maybes. I don't know. Again, this is a weird thing to happen. As a Sentai fan, am I sad about Sentai ending? Yes, I am still sad about it. If it was my choice, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, if it was my choice, if I was in charge, I would still keep Sentai around for another 50, 100 years. That's just me, okay? However, I do understand, unfortunately, I do understand why they're ending Sentai. I understand that, especially after seeing all the things that they've been doing these last few years with Sentai, and especially this past year with Sentai, Gozyuger. Not really the best Sentai. Like, you could like Gozyuger, absolutely. I have mixed feelings about Gozyuger as a whole, just because of everything surrounding it and everything, but that's another video for another day. You know, regardless of your feelings about Gozyuger, like, I don't think anyone can really say, especially like longtime Sentai fans, I don't think anyone can really say that Gozyuger is like the best Sentai, especially when it comes to like everything surrounding it, all the controversies and everything. It's just, it's kind of a lot of things have happened with Gozyuger and with Sentai in general, so I understand why they have to end it, because it needs a break. At least it at least needs a break. It at least needs a hiatus, and then hopefully when it does come back, then it can have a fresh new look, a fresh new vibe, and a fresh new audience to cater to, and I will be there when it comes back. If it comes back, hopefully it does. But we'll have to see what happens with Project R.E.D, GAVAN Infinity. Let me know in the comments what you think so far about all this. And yeah, stay tuned for my coverage of the press conference sometime in this coming weekend or next week or something. Stay tuned. Okay. That's it. Bye-bye.